So, story from my understanding was married young, 2 boys you've had, and you're now divorced because
He basically cheated. It started off as an emotional affair and then turned physical. Things were fine when we had our first kid.
Yeah.
So I think we just were like a normal couple then, just doing the things that you do. And then just before we had the second one, he started getting a bit distant with me, and it made me really insecure with the relationship. But we'd had this conversation so many times, you know, like we'd worked through our problems, friends were having problems at the time, and we'd had this conversation where we just said we will always work through it no matter what. Gave birth to my second one, and 3 days after, he basically said to me, does he think our marriage is going to work?
did you not want anything to do with the kids?
He did. He would come down and see the kids like once a week because he was working 7 days a week at the time.
Okay, so occupied with work,
Yeah.
and I can understand a lot of dads feel like they have to grind financially
Yeah.
to be able to provide,
Yeah.
but he wanted out at the same time.
So I obviously didn't know this at the time.
Did you ever blame yourself for his cheating?
Yes, I did. Because I was made to feel like I wasn't good enough. And at the time it matched me.
Did you ever feel like you had to die inside so that your kids didn't have to see you break?
Yes. That was exactly what I did. I was numb. I literally was like walking around, emotion shut down and numb, which is why the outside world thought I was okay, because I became really good at pretending. I think the hardest thing I had to pretend was that I was okay as a mum. I was trying to pretend that I was all right when actually I was really falling apart and breaking.
Welcome everyone to another episode of the Unfiltered podcast, where we take the eye out of unfiltered and put the emphasis directly on you. This is the one platform where we get to take down our filters and have raw, authentic and vulnerable conversations in regards to the challenges that we're all facing today. Now, if you're a fan of the unfiltered nature of this podcast and you want more of these conversations that I have on the show to be normalized, why don't you help me help you? To get more guests on and to have those difficult conversations in regards to the challenges we're all facing, I have to know what it is that you specifically want us to speak about. So if it isn't too much to ask, why don't you hit that subscribe button right now? And at the end of the episode, if it's been a hit for you, why don't you leave a thumbs up and leave a cheeky review in regards to what specifically resonates with you. Now, with that all being said and done, let's get straight back into the episode. Misha, how's it going?
Good, I'm good.
Are you ready to give everyone a little breakdown on your story?
I am.
Cool. All right. Let's firstly introduce who you are and what you're doing so far.
Yeah, I'm Misha Patel. Am I looking at you? Sorry.
You can look wherever you like. So you're Misha Patel.
Yes, I'm Misha Patel. I am, by title, a somatic trauma-informed coach and a brain spotting practitioner. So I work with trauma, but ultimately I take people from feeling invisible to invincible.
Okay. And before that?
Before that, I studied psychology. So I've got a degree in psychology, but I actually went into beauty.
Okay.
And then all my clients were telling me that they just prefer talking to me. So they're not even coming for treatments anymore. They just want to talk to me. So I thought, okay, let me use my degree. Let me do something that I always wanted to do. And the only reason why I didn't was because I found my boyfriend at uni and then finished uni and had to do the Indian thing, get married.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But so did psychology at uni.
Yeah.
Found your boyfriend. Did the Indian thing. Worked in beauty. What were you doing in beauty?
After I had the kids.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. So you
there's a
had your
gap
kid
in
first.
between. Yeah.
So
There's
you
a
weren't
gap.
working for time.
I was working in the family businesses.
Oh, right. Fine.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you're like one of the first coaches I've spoken to who actually did psychology.
Oh, okay.
So I'm a fraud and you're not, because you've actually got the skill set and you've got the qualification and the degree for it.
I don't know, I wouldn't say that because I think lived experience is more important. That's the only reason why I didn't go further at the time, because I hadn't dealt with my own stuff.
Yeah.
How can I support people if I don't know myself?
All right. So your story. The story. Have you spoken about it before on any other podcasts?
No, not really.
you
Not,
done
not
another podcast?
Unfiltered. Yeah, I've done
Okay,
online
fine,
podcasts,
fine.
one in person, but not Unfiltered.
And father of your kids is fine with how unfiltered we get.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't say it like that.
No, yeah.
Fuck.
We're in a good place. I will tell you, we're in a good place.
Okay, fine. All right. So story from my understanding was married young,
Yeah.
2 boys you've
Yeah.
had, and how I can't remember how long into the relationship, but you're now divorced because
He basically cheated.
okay. So you had an affair.
Yeah, it started off as an emotional affair and then turned physical. Let me take you back to things were fine when we had our first kid.
Yeah.
So I think we just were like a normal couple then, just doing the things that you do. And then after the second one, just before we had the second one, he started getting a bit distant with me and it made me really insecure with the relationship. But we'd had this conversation so many times, you know, like we'd worked through our problems, friends were having problems at the time, and we'd had this conversation where we just said we will always work through it no matter what. But gave birth to my second one, and 3 days after, he basically said to me he doesn't think our marriage is going to work. And at that time, I could tell he was being distant, but I didn't know why. And there was a lot of stress going on with the business, and it was just a lot was happening in life. So I put it down to that. And then it was maybe like 3 months later that he decided that, well, actually, I went to my parents after giving birth just to recover, had an 18-month-old and a newborn, and he was really busy with his business, so I didn't really get that support. So I went to my parents, and then he didn't want me to come back.
Oh.
Yeah. So I noticed things had changed because normally he'd call me when he's driving to things or doing things, and he just stopped doing that.
That's weird in terms of like, I'm trying to process, you've just had kids now.
Yeah.
You've had one, you've got the second one, and then something has triggered him in some way for him to then not want to build possibly what he wanted to begin with, which was a family and wife and kids, right? So how did you process that? Obviously you've gone back to your parents, but
So at the time I just went for 6 weeks. And I took, like, my eldest was in nursery. I just put a break in for 6 weeks. And then after 6 weeks, he was like, look, I don't want you to come back. And I just couldn't work out why. And I did go back. I think it was maybe Feb, my little one was born. I went back in May. No, I didn't go back that first year, actually. That was the second year. So, yeah, I stayed for 1 whole year. I changed nurseries.
Oh,
For
shit.
my eldest. Yeah.
Did he not want anything to do with the kids?
He did. He would come down and see the kids like once a week. One day, because he was working 7 days a week at the time.
Okay, so occupied with work.
Yeah.
And I can understand a lot of dads feel like they have to grind financially to be able to provide.
Yeah.
But he wanted out at the same time.
So I obviously didn't know this at the time.
Yeah.
But all the time that he'd put towards us and our relationship, he was putting towards one of his staff members.
Okay, fine.
So she had gone through something traumatic and he was supporting her because we needed her to work for us. If she was the manager, let's say, and took over, then he would have more time for me. So I just felt like I had to understand at the time.
Fine.
Yeah.
Bit, okay, I don't want to say the word emotional manipulation, but...
Yeah, I think at the time...
Eventually went there. Okay, fine. And is that the person he's now with?
Yes, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but a year later, when I did go back, I was like, I'm done now, I'm going back. You know, like, I'm not going to... The kids are older, I can look after them by myself, I don't need your help, basically. So I went back, and it was one weekend that he decided that he needed a break. So he just went and stayed in a hotel. And I knew he was going on his own, which was fine. I think he needed that time and space to get his head together. Obviously, so much was going on. And yeah, I just looked at, I think I was going through, I don't know, bank account or something. And I saw that his phone bill was a lot. And he had this tendency of calling 0845 numbers, like business numbers from his personal number. So I just went on the iPad and I just checked, like, who'd been calling. And this one number came up. And it was just constant, like all at 1 a.m., all the times that he told me that, you know, still working, all the times that he wasn't coming upstairs, when I would say to him, you know, I need help with the kids, all that kind of stuff.
This is when you had moved back?
Yeah.
Okay. So then, you did your own little background research.
No, I didn't mean to, but it just kind of, one thing happened after another. And then, I called that number.
And you heard it was her?
Yeah.
And then?
Yeah, I just froze. I literally froze in that moment. Then I went into a bit of a panic mode.
Yeah.
I called it on private number, so she didn't know it was me.
Okay.
Yeah, and then when he came back is when I confronted him.
Okay.
And he basically convinced me, I guess it was gaslighting at the time, convinced me that, you know, he was just giving her that support that she didn't get so she can come back to work and nothing was going on.
But at 1 a.m., come on.
I believed it. Yeah.
I want to try and, the way I've got these questions kind of structured, I'm probably going to start a little bit somewhere at the end and then bring it back a little bit, just for context. And if I need to edit anything, then I will. But when I listen to that, and I know a bit more of the story, how do you move on when the person who broke your heart is still in your life every week?
You do need space. Yeah. Like in the beginning, I really tried to make it work. It actually took me 4 years to leave. And I went back 3 times because I was trauma bonded. And like for anyone that doesn't know what a trauma bond is, you become bonded to the person that hurts you because they've made you feel better in the past. So it's like I've been in a cycle of love and affection and then withdrawal and abuse essentially.
Yeah.
And neglect. So every time he gave me a little crumb, it could even be as small as like a little X at the end of a message. And
You
I'd be
jumped
like,
at the
he's
opportunity.
it was like,
So many of us do that.
yeah, one little crumb, I felt like I had the whole cake. So I was like, okay, no, it's going to work. It's going to work. And I needed space. Eventually, when I did leave, I had to have that space and he needed that space too, because every time we would communicate, it would just blow up. It would turn into an argument.
You defend him a lot, don't you?
I do now. And I think that's because from a trauma-informed perspective, I really understand why he did what he did.
Did you ever blame yourself for his cheating?
Yes, I did. Because I was made to feel like I wasn't good enough. And at the time, it matched me. Like, things like, for example, I'd stopped cooking. For context, at the time, we lived on top of a restaurant. And him and his business partner, I would cook for them. And they would either eat downstairs or they'd come up really late and they wouldn't eat it. And I just got to this place where I spent so much time on my own that I stopped cooking. And I felt like, at the time, now I look back, I don't think I did, but at the time, he felt like I was pressuring him to be a husband, like to come to weddings with me. We got married quite early, so all our friends were getting married. There was all these things, and he didn't have that time for me. So when he was then saying this stuff, I felt like it was because I hadn't been a good enough wife.
And you kept coming back 4 years, right?
Yeah. For the kids, that was a lot to do with the kids.
That's what I was just going to ask. Did you ever feel like you had to die inside so that your kids didn't have to see you break?
Yes, that was exactly what I did. I was numb. I literally was like walking around emotionally shut down and numb, which is why the outside world thought I was okay because I became really good at pretending.
I've literally, how did pretending it was fine? When you think of it now in your coaching position, how do you feel pretending it was fine has possibly, hopefully not, but added towards your kids' possible trauma now?
I think I should have left earlier. When I look, I don't regret it because I think it had to be my journey. But if I'd known what I know now, I wouldn't have tried for so long because actually it affects the kids a lot more.
What were you trying for? To win him back?
God, that's a good question. I think I was trying to win back the version that I thought he was, that I'd been promised.
Yeah, we all do it, right? Like,
Yeah.
especially once you come out of any sort of relationship. I can't imagine what it's like when you go through a divorce, but you miss what you once had maybe in the early stages, etc. And it's kind of like what you're familiar with. And I've been doing a lot of TikTok videos where I've said, like, it's like your mirror. It's what you saw every day.
Yeah.
That energy that came back, that's what you're used to. And now all of a sudden you look in the mirror and it's a complete different reflection.
Yeah.
And you've now got to get comfortable with the fact that maybe someone's no longer there.
Yeah.
And like you said, any breadcrumb thrown your way, you jumped at the opportunity. What knock-on effect has it had for your kids?
I think it affected them in the beginning a lot when we left because I'd pretended everything was okay and I'd made a lot of excuses, for like, for example, when they'd say, I want daddy to put me to bed tonight. And I remember once he said to them, oh, I can't have to go get eggs. And I was like, yeah, but daddy said he had to go get eggs. So he's not going to be able to. This is like 7 p.m. on a Sunday night. I knew where he was going. And I made a lot of excuses, pretending everything was all right to the kids. And almost, I think the false promises that I had been made, I had probably given to them, that he'll have more time when this happens, he'll have more time when that happens. We'll do this together, we'll do that together.
So to not hurt them, not tell them a white lie, but essentially...
Yeah, I think it was me in my fantasy world, I guess.
It's the safety element as well, right? Like, we don't want to obviously project a lot of negativity in that scenario. And I can respect the fact that this is what some couples have to do when it comes to that crossroad, I suppose. There's no right or wrong answer when it comes to parenting.
No.
What you've done right now, you probably thought was the right thing to do. And then years later, one of your sons might knock on your door and say, Mum, I wish you didn't do that.
Yeah, my eldest did.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Go on. When was this?
Oh, I'd say when he was about, well, he's 13, he's just turned 13.
Yeah.
He was probably about 8. It was like just when they'd gone back to school after COVID.
Yeah.
And during COVID, he spent a bit more time with his dad. And he came back and one day he went to school
Yeah.
and he basically made this story up. And I knew it was made up because it just didn't make sense. But he said something along the lines of, oh, when he went there, they made him sleep in the bath all night and that they'd lock the door from the outside. So some
His
of the
dad and partner.
no, she wasn't living. Actually, she was living with them at the time,
Yeah,
but
fine.
my in-laws also lived with them.
Yeah.
So I knew this wasn't true.
Yeah.
And I couldn't work out, why did he make something like that up? So I'm sitting in this meeting with his like Senko at school, and she basically said to me that he knows what's happened, but you haven't told him. You're still trying to cover for his dad and you're trying to pretend like everything's okay. And he just needs to know the truth. But in his head, he'd blamed himself, and that's what children do.
Yeah, every child blames themselves.
Yeah.
They feel helpless. They're like,
Yeah, exactly.
I wish I could have been there more for mum.
Yeah, and it was more, he felt like he was the scapegoat because his brother had better treatment because my eldest had the first couple of years with his dad.
The other one didn't.
The other one didn't. So when his dad had them both, when the dad had them, he would favour the little one more. But he didn't see it at the time that he was doing that.
Yeah, damn. Do you ever worry that your sons may pick? I'm not saying their dad's traits.
Yeah.
But, and don't get me wrong, everyone has the ability to have an affair or cheat, right? I think people are wired differently. And I feel like when I've spoken to someone who has cheated in the past, you can understand the conditioning. Yeah. And it's usually due to the fact that maybe one of their parents did that once upon a time or left or abandoned, and they lack a lot of self-love. So they then sabotage and fuck things up when they're in relationships later down the line. And you can somewhat make sense in regards to they don't want to mistreat the person that they're with.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, due to the fact that they can't accept the love that's being thrown at them, they can only think, I need to fuck this up because this isn't comfortable. This isn't normal for me.
Yeah, I think it's when someone doesn't feel good within themselves.
Yeah.
They're looking for someone else to make them feel better.
Yeah.
And essentially, I had stopped giving our relationship all that attention.
Not that. I'm talking about, like, I have a feeling, and this is based on people I've spoken to, that because someone in their family cheated in the past, or a parent, or they felt a certain kind of way where they lacked love, they now can't accept it when it's thrown their way. So, like me as an example, I've never cheated, but I was always pushy towards some of my ex-girlfriends, my uni one in particular. Like I was a grumpy guy, and like struggled to take affection in the way where if you cuddled me, I might be like,
yeah, I was the same. Yeah.
It's because I never had it as a kid growing up.
Yeah.
And so naturally you bring that to your relationships. Now, I never cheated, but I can understand some people who probably never had a parent or some sort of figure in their life, or really just lacked self-love growing up. You've got someone pouring into your cup right now, giving you everything, and it feels uncomfortable. The first thought of yours is, I don't deserve this. I'm just going to fuck it up. And the only way I can fuck it up right now is if I cheat, she's going to leave. And then that way, I'm like, it makes me then feel comfortable again that she's left me because I don't deserve what she's bringing to the table.
So how does that make sense, though, if they're cheating and getting love from someone else?
It's not about getting love.
Yeah. But
it's about throwing that away.
Yes, okay. So if someone feels like they're not good enough, they're almost going to sabotage the
They're just going to fuck things up completely.
Yeah.
It's that standard self-sabotage.
Yeah.
Do you ever worry that your sons might start doing that?
No, I don't. Do you know that? I did. I'm not going to lie. I did. Before I did the work on myself and really understood my wounds and did the healing work, I did.
Yeah.
And that's because I just guess I was worried that they would learn certain behaviours and they would think it was okay.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, they'd seen the consequences of that behaviour and the knock-on effect it had on them.
Yeah.
The knock-on effect it had on the whole family and the dynamics and everything. So I don't worry that they would cheat, but my goal is to make sure they have a good sense of self.
I was going to just say, because like, obviously you've gone through it. A lot of these people that I speak to now, people who have been cheated on, haven't, well, not say have been cheated on. A lot of people that I've spoken to who have had someone in their life play the cheat role, so that they now have this lack of self-love trait, etc.
Yeah.
They haven't been granted permission to learn how to love themselves so they don't push people away.
Yeah.
It's just interesting how you embed that so that they don't feel a certain kind of way from their dad. They don't feel like they were the reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't feel good enough, essentially.
But how does your ex-husband now double down on the fact that they are good enough?
He makes an effort.
But like seeing someone, like you say, what's the agreement? How often do they see Dad?
They see him half the holidays. We live quite far away, so there's like 3 hours between us.
But it's not an every weekend kind of thing. No. Are there calls every week?
Yeah. That's up to him to make the effort, though.
But my point being, how do you double down on that? Because if your sons now spend the next couple of years thinking, oh, Dad doesn't even call, what's the fucking point?
So I think you only need one safe parent. So you need one person that you can go to to tell you that you're lovable just the way you are, that you're good enough.
I hear you. Yeah. I disagree.
Okay.
I disagree because of the fact that, like, you can get it from one parent.
Yeah.
But if you feel
you still have that abandonment mood from the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, my dad always gave me love, just never gave me love the way I wanted it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm not saying I felt abandoned by my dad.
Yeah.
But it's more of a case of he just went about life in a standard man way, worked hard, did everything he needed to do as a dad, but wasn't emotionally available.
Yeah.
So if you've got a son right now who feels, yo, man, I just need a pat on the back or something, and dad's not around for it, you're going to grow up thinking, well, no one's been there to do that, so why do I need it from anyone else right now? And you might always give it to him.
Yeah.
But when you need it from a man, it's very different.
Yeah, so they are lucky enough to have good role models.
Yeah.
But actually, their dad has got himself to a place where he will do that.
Fine.
Now.
Fine.
Yeah, so it's almost like I feel like the early years that were really quite traumatic for them, he is trying to show up now.
Yeah.
He never took on board anything I would say for a long time. There was a lot of toxicity between us then, but now he's open to taking things on board. He's recognised when I've said to him, you know, our eldest feels like you're treating the little one differently.
Yeah. No,
so
fair.
he recognises that.
Fair.
Yeah.
And we can go everywhere with this kind of conversation. But what's something you never said to your ex-husband's new partner?
Thank you.
Fine.
Like, I was really horrible to her. I guess I should apologise as well. I should say sorry to her too, because in the beginning I did blame her. I was so trauma bonded to him that I thought, you know, he can't be the reason why our marriage is breaking up. It's got to be because of her. And also that's what my family wanted to believe. At the time, they really wanted to believe that it can't be him because he was this great guy. So I was horrible to her and I really wanted to get rid of her because I thought if she's not in the picture, then we've got nothing stopping us from making it work. I think that was before I found out that it was a proper affair. And then now I think I do want to thank her because she's made him a better person.
So yeah, thankful based on what's come about.
Yeah.
And at the time, you just wanted rid of her.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she had that hostility towards me at one point as well, obviously.
How did you get to a point then of being able to thank someone? Because I feel like that's the final stage in being able to forgive and let go and move on with your life.
Yeah.
And I tell all my clients this, and I'll tell people who speak to me in regards to a breakup or whatever traumatic relationship stuff they've gone through. I was like, regardless of what's happened, you want to get to a place where you thank them, wish them all the best, and be able to move forward.
Yeah.
Because then they are no longer holding a piece of you right now.
Yeah.
They're no longer bringing you back in.
Yeah.
How did you specifically get there?
I had to heal myself. So I had to recognise...
By doing what?
Why I stayed. Yeah. So when everything happened and I finally moved out, I wanted to understand, why did it take me so long? Because my 18-year-old version of me would have walked away from that. Why did I stay for so long trying to make it work? A lot of it was cultural conditioning.
Yep. That's
what you've been told, and the lack of support from society in general. The things are going to tell you, no one's going to want you. You know, you're going to have this like almost tagline that you're divorced, right? It's just going to be like printed on you, and that's it. Secondly, I do think it was me understanding why I stayed, and that was me recognizing what I had felt. So I was looking for someone else to make me feel good about me, and I had to understand the root cause. And the root cause was actually my childhood and the things I didn't receive. And it wasn't my parents' fault as such, but I am what you call a glass child. So my brother was born prematurely, 11 weeks early, 18 months before me, and he had to have like 11 operations by the time he was even 5. He had a bleed on the brain. It's called hydrocephalus. So he had all these health issues. And as a little girl, I felt like my parents gave him more love and attention, and I just wasn't good enough, that I just wasn't lovable. I would get told off for things that he wouldn't get told off for. I was expected to do things that he wasn't expected to do. And so my whole life, I almost felt like I wasn't good enough. And I had to get to the root cause of that and realise why I stayed. The forgiveness part of it came from me understanding why they did what they did. So I have a lot of clients where they have so much hostility towards, let's say, their parents, but understand why your parents did what they did. They weren't the perfect parents, but that's because they had their own traumas. And I had to recognize, like, you know, my dad, his parents died when he was young. So he was essentially an orphan.
Molded a certain way.
Yes. And also he had a lot of anger when I was younger, but I understand now because he had health problems. But you don't understand that as a child, right? So I didn't understand it at the time. It allowed me to understand why my ex and his now wife did what they did.
So just to wheel it back up a little bit, because I try and tell everyone, you don't necessarily need to speak to like myself or a coach to recognize what's happened in the past. You've got to be able to try and look at the bigger picture. And sometimes it's very difficult to take down your blinkers and be able to see that, and also remove the stubbornness, the pride and the ego, to actually recognize things were done unintentionally and possibly out of fault, and it's had a knock-on effect.
Yeah.
And to get to that stage, we've got to then be able to let go. But if you still are built on the fact that, nah, they were wrong, they keep doing this, blah, 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 and that's living with you rent-free, it affects you in every relationship moving forward.
Yeah.
And to get out of that, you have to let go.
Yeah, but to let go, you also have to feel safe within yourself. So we get stuck in our heads.
Yeah.
But actually, you have to come into your body and you have to feel.
Yeah, I created this triangle, which I don't think makes sense, but it made sense to me. To let go, you've got to accept what's happened, but to accept, you've got to forgive. Yeah. And then, but to forgive, you've got to let go. And it's like a constant, like, little reverse loop that happens. And like when you say you've got to feel internally, you've got to forgive you.
I think it starts with you.
Yeah. It always starts with the fact that that child didn't receive X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that child's fault.
Yeah.
And you keep bringing that child into every goddamn situation, and it's fucking it up.
Yeah, that's it. That's the way I see it. I see it as, let's say the three of us. Yeah. We were just the unhealed little children that we were in this situation, which is why for me, I thought if I get rid of her, everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Right. And for him, I was the problem. So I had to get out of the problem. And I guess for her, she didn't see what the effect it was causing.
Do you not think, what would you do in a scenario? What would you advise in a scenario moving forward? Let's say you've got a friend right now. I'm going very unfiltered with this. You're speaking to her and your friend says to you, there's this guy I'm speaking to, but he's married.
Yeah.
What we're about to do right now is very borderline cheating.
Why hasn't he left his wife?
But what are you telling her to do in that scenario?
I'm telling her to ask him what's going on here. If there's no future, if he's with someone else, what impact is that going to have on her?
But she doesn't care.
I basically would say to her that if he can do that to his wife, he can do that to you.
Regardless of that, what if she doesn't care?
I probably wouldn't want her as a friend because...
Fair play.
Yeah, I just feel like, look, if you want to get with someone, there's a way to do it, right?
There is, but there also isn't. And like we know in this world right now, no one gives a shit. People do what they want to do.
Yeah, but I haven't cheated, neither of you.
No, I haven't, no. And we have our morals and our values that we stand by.
Yeah.
However, like in that friend example right now, it's clear to see that like you would be like, yeah, you're not my people, leave.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to see her destroy that other woman because I know what that feels like. Yeah.
So would you say you still hold on to something?
What do you mean?
A little bit of pain and frustration?
No. I don't think I do. I just wouldn't. I think there's a way to go about it. And if this guy really wanted to be with her, then essentially he should clean up the mess first because it's not fair on the wife. It's not fair on my friend either.
No, it's not.
Because she's essentially becoming a third wheel. And I know what it was like in the beginning when everything that we went through. In those 4 years, his wife now, she wasn't getting everything that she should have got.
Yeah.
Because his foot was in and out.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting the attention I should have got. And he wasn't also getting the right love that he needed.
It's a bit of, No, I get you. Only reason I was asking that is just to see what your response would be now. Because I suppose if I flip the script and say it was your son.
Yeah.
Speaking to a girl.
Yeah.
And she was in a relationship.
Yeah.
And he was like...
worth more. I would tell him he's worth more.
But like they both want to make it work.
Yeah.
But she can't necessarily walk away from this situation she's in right now because of cultural stuff or whatever conditioning. What are you doing there?
I would really tell him he's worth more. Does he really want to...
And he says, yeah, Mum, I do.
What, does he really want to be with her?
Yeah.
then I'd be like, you have to wait for her to clean up her mess first.
Fair play. It's just it's a sticky one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just funny. It's just two different answers, but it's like I get it.
Yeah.
I have to ask these unfiltered questions because it's kind of like what we talk about.
Yeah.
We have these conversations at a pub or at a bar. We don't ever have them on the podcast. So, all right, let's go back a little bit. Let's wheel it back up. What did the days after finding out, what did they actually look like for you? Not the public version, what everyone else saw, like for you personally.
I was a mess, clearly. I think a lot of the times I threw myself into parenthood, just being a mum, and that was my way of distracting myself. But I had also lost a lot of weight. I didn't see that at the time, though. It took my ex-brother-in-law to actually point that out, that I was basically destroying myself in the process. I still, in my head, I think I just was trying to research how to make things work, because that's the only way that I saw. I literally only saw that this has got to work. So I spent all my time just thinking, what do I need to do to get better? But I wasn't focusing on myself in the right way. Like I wasn't dealing with the emotional trauma that I had.
So you went into parenthood, but was there anything else that you did?
Just distracted myself. So I'm not a drinker, so I didn't go hit the bottle. I think I just drove myself a bit crazy. If I look back now, I became obsessed with it. Just how am I going to make this work?
Yeah. Autopilot was make it work versus let it just crumble.
Yeah. Yeah. And I did. I literally became like a private investigator. You know, I would know where they are. I
know people that like go above and beyond.
Yeah.
And they do like the private investigating, the research, and it's toxic from a perspective where it's like, why are you doing that to yourself? You're looking for answers. You're looking for pain.
Do you know what? I sometimes think it's not because you're looking for pain. It's you're looking for validation that it's true. What is happening is true. You need a certain amount of...
That's looking for pain, because once you get that truth, you're hurting yourself.
Yeah, but then you're also saving yourself because you finally believed it and acknowledged it.
Are you?
You are.
I don't think that's the case for a lot of people. I think they generally do that, and I'll put my hands up and say like there was a time where I recognized that someone had moved on, call a spade, had moved on, and quite frankly, like moved on quick, fine. And after I saw what I saw, in my head, it was just programmed and clicked in. Don't ever go back and look for that again. Don't ever search.
Yeah.
The minute you do, what are you doing to yourself? You are now feeding yourself with the reality that what once was can never happen again. And you're going to hurt yourself if there's a slight feeling. Like you've healed, you moved on.
Yeah.
You've got to know other people and things are fine, but that creates an uncomfortable feeling within you somehow. And I think that's natural. Are you fully healed? Or maybe you're still healing? I don't know. There's a little gray area there. But I know by looking, by searching, by talking about it, all I end up doing is possibly triggering my brain to then say, yeah, you weren't good enough, were you? You were a problem, were you? And I don't need to do that to myself.
No.
So the right thing for me to do right now is no matter what might come in my mind, don't bother searching.
I could do that now, but I couldn't then.
Okay, nice, fair.
So at that time...
That's what you're doing.
What I did was I just became obsessed with how could I make it work?
Yeah.
Because I saw no other way. But then when it came out in the open, when other people started seeing it, that's when I started to be able to see, what am I doing?
Okay, cool. So let me just stop you there.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you, because that is our autopilot to try and make things work.
Yeah.
Despite the fact, like, we don't think logically. We're running on our emotions and we're like, oh my God, he can't leave, she can't leave. We need to make it work. We need to hold it down. And I used to say the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm never walking away from this. No matter how happy or unhappy I felt, going to hold it down. As a coach right now, you would possibly be able to tell someone, no, you're better than that, and help them.
Yeah.
Not go through what you went through. But I'm asking you straight up, how do you get someone over the line, or what advice or what guidance are you providing right now to stop the domino continue to fall?
You have to break that trauma bond. And the trauma bond is the equivalent of an addiction. Right? Because the chemicals released in your brain are the same as substance abuse, let's say. So you have to first recognize that you are trauma bonded and you have to go through the withdrawal.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable. It's horrible. It doesn't feel good. But at the other end of that is when you're going to start building yourself again. You're almost going to shatter to rebuild yourself.
All right, let's role play it then.
Yeah.
Right now, I'll be your dummy.
Okay.
Client. Only reason why, because I feel like this is like these kind of conversations. This is what someone who's going through this right now might listen, and it'll go over their head.
Yeah, yeah.
And what they possibly need to listen to right now is, this is how you fucking do it, and stop. Don't you dare take that next step in that direction, because that is not serving you.
Yes.
So I kind of want you to role play that with me, where I'll be your dummy client. I'm about to tell you what I'm going to do, and call me out on my shit.
The first thing I'd actually get you to do is come out of your irrational thinking.
What's my irrational thinking? I miss her.
Okay, when you think irrationally, you literally are stuck in the past or worried about the future, right? Your brain, you get stuck in your head, you come out of your body. So the first thing we would do is actually come into your body. Okay. So I would say to you, okay, you miss her. What does that make you feel?
I feel alone. I feel not good enough. I feel incomplete. I feel there's a hollow hole now. I just feel empty.
Okay. How deep do you want to go with this, by the way?
As deep as we got. This is role play.
Okay. Yeah, I know it's role play, but
yeah, go deep with it.
Okay. So, tell me your first memory of feeling like that.
Ooh, the first time I ever felt alone and empty. It's hard to bring that into the picture right now. I don't know. I don't think I've ever felt like this, or maybe I have, but I don't think I've. If I'm being quite honest with you right now, this is so raw. I've never felt like this before.
Okay. So I just want you to start thinking about going back to her.
Yeah.
What's that going to make you feel?
I just want another chance.
Why?
Because it was meant to be.
Why was it meant to be?
We had like deep conversations and we spoke about things, and like, if I've gone wrong, I know I can always like work on myself. I've always been that way inclined. But I can appreciate that maybe there was something wrong on her end and she struggled to communicate that with me. And like, I'm not a quitter. I'm not going to give up on this.
But what if she needs that space to work on those things?
What are you trying to say then? That I should let her do whatever she's going to do right now with this new individual?
If she's going to do it regardless, whether she's with you or not. If that's her wounds that she's got to heal, and that's the way that she thinks what she's doing is putting a plaster on it, right?
Yeah, paper over the cracks.
Yeah.
So I have to just accept that and let that just ride out. And
in the meantime, you work on you, and you work on you making yourself feel good enough, feel lovable.
I know what you're saying, but like I feel like I'm just letting her walk away, and I have to just sit here and just take it all on board.
You're letting her walk away, but she's chosen to walk away.
Ouch. So I can't do anything is what you're saying. You're telling me.
Why would you want to is what I want to know. I want to know why, when someone's walking away, you are chasing them.
I don't. I've spent a lot of time and energy into this person.
Yeah. You could spend a lot more time and energy, and
but it's unfamiliar to do that. I don't want to do that again. I'm 30, 31. It's long.
So you'd rather be in the wrong relationship than...
No, not when you say it like that. I don't want to be in the wrong relationship. But like, why can't that still work?
Because she's got to do her work. She's got to make it want to work as well, right?
She's made her choice.
Yes.
She's made her bed.
Yeah.
I have to just deal with the fact that I'm not good enough for her.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean you're not good enough for someone else. She's just not the right person for you.
All right, end the role play. That was kind of cool. That's kind of.
We would go deeper in the session though. We'd actually figure out your attachment style and work on that.
Yeah.
Because she's obviously got an avoidant, and you've got the anxious.
And like this is kind of like I would have like a similar convo. I'd try and like twist at them a bit more, but I think respectfully in that scenario, kind of what you're doing there and like the conversation we're having, you can go backwards and forwards as much as you want. She's fucking made a decision to go. Yeah.
But what does it take for you to accept it? In order to accept it, you actually have to feel safe within yourself.
Of course. You do have to feel safe within you. But I think like the thing that people don't want to hear in that scenario, and that's what I was trying to like
I didn't want to hear it. Do you know that? Like I could still tell you now, I was sitting in my ex-brother-in-law's house. He's sitting here, his wife was there, and I'm here, like leaning against. I can still see this triangle that we were in. And they were like to me, why are you putting up with him? Why are you still trying to make it work? And you know what my answer was? My answer was like, because I'm not a quitter. Yeah. At the time, I said, because I'm going to try and make it work. Yeah. I'm going to do everything I can in my power to make it work. And in their heads, they were like, she's in a bubble. Like my ex-brother-in-law would say to me, you just need that bubble to pop. And I just couldn't see it.
I think this is because when we talk about quitting, I've got it. I've got a tattoo over here, my gladiator. And the gladiator is meant to resemble being a warrior, never giving up, never quitting. And I remember one of my coaching friends, and I've spoken about it before, she called me out and she said, Pri, I don't care how perfect she is. What's that thing you got over here? And I said, my gladiator. And I said, what does it mean? And I told her, never quit, never give up. She said, no matter how perfect this individual is right now, she doesn't share one value that you share.
Yeah.
And that's never to quit, like always trying to make things work. You've told me you want that Michael and Jay, my wife and kids, like relationship where
That's exactly what my ex said.
Yeah, no, but
That's exactly what he used to say.
But we want that loving relationship where we always work and speak and be honest. Pri, she quit on you. You'd never quit on her.
Yeah.
So how can you want to be with someone who had the ability to quit on you?
Exactly.
And so then it got me thinking that like the way I need to like reverse engineer what this means to me now is not the fact that I'm never going to quit on the situation. I'm just never going to quit on me. Quitting on me right now means if this isn't working and it's taking me a certain way, I need to put myself first. Nah.
Yeah. You abandon yourself. That's what I did. I completely abandoned myself and I made everything about making something work that was never going to be right for me. Because now when I look back, I was like, I was never going to be as happy as I am now in that relationship.
I hear it. You mentioned that you lost weight, didn't really turn to alcohol and stuff.
Yeah.
What's the hardest thing you had to pretend?
I don't think there was one scenario as such. I think the hardest thing for me was not pretending. I think the hardest thing to pretend. It's a good question, actually. I just got so used to it at the time. I couldn't see how much I was pretending. But I think the hardest thing I had to pretend was that I was okay as a mum. I think that was it. I was trying to pretend that I was all right when actually I was really falling apart and breaking.
So a lot of mums and dads as well will feel that they let their children down.
Yeah.
That you did something wrong.
Yeah.
To force whoever to like leave. Did you feel that?
No, I didn't. I didn't feel that.
Nice. Okay, good.
In the beginning, I did, like I said before, I felt like maybe I wasn't the good enough wife.
Yeah.
But then ultimately, that could have been worked on and the marriage could have worked. Do you see what I mean? If we both had dealt with our trauma at the time, but he made a different choice. So I never felt like it was me. I tried everything. I know I can hold my hands up high and say, at least I tried to make it work. I didn't just give up so easily.
What version of you was he cheating on? Shout out curiosity. The real you?
No.
Or the version of you?
My unhealed version of me.
Do you reckon he would have cheated on this version of you?
He would be very stupid too. Yeah.
Drop some fire on that.
He would be. Like, honestly, like, whoever I'm with now, right, I know that I've made the right choice in a sense that they will never cheat on me because I know what I bring to the table. Like, I know I'd be a damn good wife or partner to whoever I'm with.
Okay. All right. Kind of last one in this kind of like segment. Because there's always the line where you can't be friends with your exes.
Yeah.
And in your scenario, I'm not saying you're friends, but you're always in that space where he's going to be there because he's the father of your kids.
Now, it wasn't always like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So for a long time, it was, I'd say toxic.
Yeah. You are on very good terms now, you said, right?
Yeah. I would say now it's neutral.
Yeah.
So when I say there's love there, there's love there for him as the father of my children because I know that they need him.
Yeah.
Right? They need him equally as much as they need me. But if you'd asked me that, I say 7 years ago, I didn't think they needed him. I thought, do you know what?
They're better off without him.
They're better off without him. Yeah. So now we've got to a place where he respects me as a mum and actually the hardship that he's put me through. and how difficult it's been. And I think him having another baby has basically shown him what I went through.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and everything changed when their baby came into this world.
Fine.
Because even with me and his wife, we never used to talk.
Fair.
And when the baby came along, I think they both realised just what I had gone through.
So are you now an advocate to say that with the right work, exes can still be...
Yes. I don't say
friends, but like, would you say friends? Amicable?
I guess we could be if we wanted to be.
Amicable?
Yeah, we're definitely amicable.
Fine.
Yeah, so now we can have a bit of a laugh, we can have a bit of a joke.
You never say stuff like, remember that last time? No.
We can now.
Fair.
Yeah. Because I think we're both so far removed from that. I don't recognise who I was now.
Fine.
You know, that whole period of my life, I don't recognise who I was. I'm such a different person today. So if you knew me then and you know me now, I'm so different.
All right, so let's fast forward to today then. Do you feel comfortable? Oh, wait, sorry. Let me rephrase that. Fast forward to today. Situation right now, are you seeing anyone?
No.
So single.
Yeah.
Do you feel comfortable bringing another man home?
I do.
Are your kids comfortable?
Yes.
They are?
Yeah, I
mean,
mean,
they encourage it?
They wanted me to, from the day that I moved out, they were like, can we get a new man?
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I think that's a very weird one because some people are like quite protective. Not weird one, but people are protective in their space where they don't want to add further damage or confusion to their children. So how do you feel when you speak to someone and say, yeah, I've got 2 boys, and this is my scenario right now? Like, how does that feel from your perspective when you project that out in a dating capacity?
It can go one of 2 ways, right? People are either going to be put off at the fact that you come with these kids.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say this I know people might take this the wrong way, but my kids aren't going to be my first priority. Okay. I've done that in the past. And actually, I have to be my first priority because... I
think that's the right way.
Yeah. If I'm happy, then they're happy, ultimately. So the mistake I made already was I put everything into raising the kids.
Yeah.
But I abandoned myself. So now that I know who I am as a person, I'll always be my best version of me, which means filling up my cup first. So either they're going to see the kids as they're not going to get the full version of me, or they're going to see us as a package.
Okay.
And I'd want them to see us as a package, knowing that actually this is just temporary because they're at an age where they're going to get older and they're going to fly the nest, and then it will be just the 2 of us.
Do you, in this scenario, want to bring any more children into the space, or done with it?
No, I don't personally want to go through that baby stage again. And actually seeing my ex have to go through it is...
Fine.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to personally.
Yeah.
So ideally, if he's got a kid, that would be helpful, or he doesn't want kids.
Fine. And then, what do you do in this scenario? What do you want from an individual right now who's going to step into this space? Because there are a few people I have either coached or know quite close, and when you have a child, the conversation is very different because, albeit like you just rightly said, you are your own priority first. Sometimes it's very difficult to just leave your children out of the mix as if they're not a priority. And so if you're a guy or a girl walking into someone's family right now and they have their own little family there, I can't imagine what it would be like to step into that to that date night or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I cannot think differently in regards to what expectations is she going to ask from me right now? If I went on a date with you and you told me you had 2 kids, first thing I'm thinking is, all right, so what is it that you want from me, just out of curiosity? As we grow, I know what we want long term, but initially, what are you looking for right now?
So I wouldn't ever want my partner to think that they have to play the role of a father, right? Because they've already got a dad at the end of the day, and they already have a mum. So, their stepmom, she won't overstep the mark ultimately. So I won't expect that from them, but if they want to do it, they're more than welcome to.
So who's this guy then to your kids? Just Bill?
He's their mum's... He's the person that makes their mum happy, right?
Okay. Fine. So in the moment, short term, because I hear more and more stories, and when I go for like I've if not clients on dating apps, when you see like people have kids and what they're looking for something serious, and it's like, what are you asking for from that individual? Because if they don't have kids and they're not in your scenario and they are childless at the moment, what are you looking for them to bring to the table initially? Because if you don't make that very clear in black and white, you run the scenario of putting yourself in a bit of a pickle, because you might then gravitate and attach feelings, etc. But he never came into this thinking that he needs to be someone's baby dad. He didn't come in to try and play stepdad.
No, but he knew
the situation.
Yeah.
But you never made it clear exactly what you were looking for.
Okay.
So sometimes I feel like that kind of like...
But that's a question, I think, as a single parent, that is a question that I do have to ask ultimately in the beginning.
No, you do. Yeah. But like at the same time, what answer are you looking for?
I don't think there is an answer, because I think that role evolves.
Yeah, but you're asking the question though. So you want some sort of answer for it to evolve,
I want them to know that they're committed to me, and that means if I have to be a mum some days, they're going to be my priority. If I'm free, then he's going to be my priority. It's not like I'm going to pick one.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, like I said, I have to be my priority. But they have to know that they're not always going to...
be number one.
Yeah.
And this is where it gets a little bit like fishy. I think you should always be number one.
Yeah.
As selfish as that sounds. But when it comes to like the rest of your priorities, where does a relationship match to your children or your mum and your dad or your brother and your sister?
Yeah, I do. It will be obviously one of the top three, right?
Yeah, but like if you're not ranked first or second, you can feel a bit incomplete.
Yeah, you can do. I think with parenting dating as a single parent, ultimately you have to think of the long-term game.
But then you can't enjoy the short term.
There's nothing to say you can't enjoy the short term, but it just might be at a slower pace as what it would be if someone didn't have kids. Because you have to think about the children in the scenario. Like, I wouldn't introduce them to someone straight away. I would have to get to know him first. He would also have to get to know my kids through me.
Yeah.
And figure out for himself, like,
is that someone who wants to get in?
Yeah. Is he okay with Saturday mornings being at cricket?
But are you comfortable then with investing that much time and energy in that process to get to know someone in the short term?
I actually want it to be that way, because I think if you go into it really, really quickly, everything comes out of the woodworks when you've already fallen. And that's when it's really hard to deal with and walk away from. But if you can figure it out in the beginning and you know what your own values and beliefs are and their values and beliefs, and are we going to be able to make this work? You want to take it slow to know what things are going to be like before you then integrate a family into it.
I hear you. I'm not trying to think differently towards it. I'm just trying to like envision it. If I got to know someone who had a child right now, me personally, I would want to know what kind of time frame are you looking to move this in? Because I'm a slow burner and I want to get to know you. And you've agreed right now that just because you've got one kid doesn't mean that you won't have more kind of thing. So we are able to set up a family, but at the same time, like, I just want to know, are you looking to... Let me reword this. I'm not looking to just go down the pecking order in regards to your priorities on the back end of whether you've got a child or whether we have children, etc. Like, I want to be equivalently up there. Okay. And the reason why I say that is because I feel sometimes if I get personal, there have been times where you speak to someone and they want to like accelerate the process and have kids early, and this is what the dating world is kind of like right now, especially when you get into your 30s. Yeah. So what about me then? What happens when we go for this short honeymoon phase and all of a sudden everything else just accelerates? We don't get to enjoy what possibly we could have enjoyed if we were in our 20s. Yeah. We accelerate all of this stuff, and we're at a position right now where there's mouths to feed and they're now the priority. So where does this come into it? Like, we've just parked this aside for that now. Yeah. Is that fair?
I don't think it's fair, but I don't think there is a solution. Because you can't just abandon your kids to get to know someone.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's sticky.
Yeah. It's gonna be something that you know what you're getting into. And personally for me, I would prefer it if you had a kid. Because he already knows what that means as a role. It doesn't mean it has to be that way, because I know not everyone, some people are okay taking on other people's kids, and they're all right with that.
Okay. Okay. What's stopping you dating so far? Because I know we've spoken about it off camera anyway. But what is that blocker right now?
If I'm honest with you, it was time for a long time.
Yeah, that was then. So now?
Yeah.
Call you out. Go on.
You asked me this before, and I think it is just, it's a lot of effort.
Okay.
Okay. And I at the moment, kind of just want it to be effortless. I don't want to have to, I'd rather it be I meet someone and we get to know each other as friends, and then it evolves, rather than this whole dating world the way that it is right now. You just don't know. I don't like the apps and stuff like that. Okay, it's not for me. I'm not that generation, so it doesn't really work for me.
Okay.
But I just feel like if I'm going to meet someone, then it's because we are fated to meet. Like, we will end up in the right place at the right time.
So you're not actively going to try and find someone?
No, I don't know if I want to. And I don't know
That's fair.
Well, actively trying to find someone also means, 5 years ago, I kept myself in spaces with all women. Yeah. Actually, even last year, I would go to networking events, all women, right? Brown women as well.
Yeah.
So it was even more of a closed circle. And actually this year, I'm like, I can't keep doing that.
Yeah, but has anyone ever said, like, oh, I know someone?
Yeah, they did.
And?
That I wasn't ready then. That was ready.
If someone says that now?
I'd be like, okay. Now I'd be like, I'll entertain it. But, 7 years ago when they were saying that to me, I didn't even know who I was. And it was, people thought that you can get over a relationship by getting into another one.
Yeah.
You just can't do that.
I'm picking on you for, like, the audience, like, just because you're here, and I feel like it's something I would ask a client and a friend if they kept repeating a cycle where I know that they want something long term, but they are pushing it away because of this. Not part of the culture right now. I'm dating apps isn't my thing, and no, break the mold.
Yeah.
Like, if you're comfortable being alone and not necessarily having a partner there, fine. For me personally, it's nice having a bed to yourself, but it's also nice having a cuddle every now and then.
Yeah.
It's nice knowing someone's going to think about you for your birthday, or you get to do something for someone.
Yeah.
So you get all of that jittery, good feeling, and if you like quality time and all of the other love language stuff with a partner involved, it's great.
Yeah.
And you're not always going to get that from your kids in a certain capacity. So do you want to keep running this? Like you said, your kids are going to get older and they're going to leave the nest, and you want to be cool at home on your Jack Jones?
No, I don't. And that's why I'm now ready for it. Do you see what I mean?
But are you?
Myself off.
Because you're not.
I'm ready.
You want a friend?
I'm ready to open the door and.
For a friend?
For a companion. Okay. Like, what I mean is, it will be, it's like you said, someone to bounce off of, right? Like, someone to talk to about things and have that other person there if something's going on. Like, you just pick up the phone and say, look, this is what's happened. It would be nice to have that where it evolves into a relationship. But I think when you've already been in the situation that I've been in, there's a risk for it to just move really quickly.
Yeah, I do hear you, because I feel like when I have spoken to women who have possibly come out of a relationship or like were either engaged and are no longer, and there is some sort of trauma or like still like feelings that have been hurt that are still there, and I can understand it. And like I remember, I wanted just a friend. It took me a while to realize it, but I just wanted someone to speak to, someone I could go on like cute dates with, and just someone just to call me like, hey, how's it going? And not feel alone.
But why did you not want that to be a relationship going forward? Why did you not want it to evolve into a relationship?
Oh, so I jumped on apps and I was trying to speak to people.
Okay.
But I felt at the time very guilty for anything further I would do based on the settings. Like, my ex was still part of the same university group. So it's in my head, the processing thought was, I'm still going to see her, so I don't think I can be with anyone to shit. And as you heal and you get over it, it's totally fine. Like, we've both moved on in our separate ways. And
I think when you've just broken up, you're looking for someone to make you feel good about you and that you're still lovable in that moment.
But like what you said right now, like you're looking for a companion. I think the difficult part in this world right now, where people generally just want a bit of company, but in a romantic kind of way, you have to respect the fact that the person on the receiving end might want to just move a little bit faster than where you're at right now.
Yeah.
And the risk you take by doing that is that you probably will self-sabotage and fuck things up in its own way, because he wants to do, in this capacity, this guy, companion of yours right now.
Can you stop saying companion? 'Cause
You
it
keep
sounds
saying
really
it.
cheesy.
This guy that you're speaking to right now wants
Yeah.
to go on a date and wants to do more datey things with you.
Yeah.
But you're not there yet, or you're holding back.
I mean, there'd have to be a good reason why I'm holding back. Otherwise, it's pointless.
So why do you just want a friend?
I'm not saying I just want a friend. I'm saying I do want to do that. I just don't want to be going on 50 million dates. Do you see what I mean? I don't want to be like, where they say when you're in your 20s and you can go on all these dates and you can get to know different people and figure out who's your person.
They say that.
Well, I don't know. People say that. But the people I know in their 20s did that.
Yeah.
So I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But I don't want to just get to know lots and lots of different people. If I'm going to get to know you, it's because I see it going somewhere.
Yeah.
Because my time is precious and it is limited, and I don't want to waste it on loads of different spaces and I guess situationships.
I hear you. But again, you've got to roll the dice to let a situationship evolve into a relationship.
Yeah.
And you're never going to know.
So what would be your advice to me? What would you say to me? I know you've already said to me, just go and sit in a bar on a Friday night.
As in, not sit in a bar on a Friday night. Like, I can plug it in right now. I've created a little workbook around it, where you kind of like piece together your ideal partner. And I've come to terms with what we say we want isn't the person necessarily we're speaking to.
Yeah.
So if you're swiping right consistently on a Friday night and this other person's there, is that the kind of person you want to be engaging with consistently? Someone who's on their phone? No, probably not. You kind of want someone who's, again, apparently family oriented. So they're with their family. So why would they be on their phone? Yeah. Someone who's quite social and active and with their friends and not. So if they're not at a pub on a Friday night or out playing some sort of sport or something, then you're kind of in the wrong space. So yeah. I'm not trying to say to you, go to a golf club. And I'm also not trying to say to you, go to your nearest pub and just chat to anyone.
Yeah, yeah.
What I'm saying is that if you generally want something a bit more organic, your partner isn't going to turn up because the pub that you're in, your partner's not going to come there and it's just going to click. It might.
Yeah.
But the reality is that if you go out with your friends to certain environments and all of a sudden, let's say, for instance, hypothetically, let's use this as an example. I'm speaking to you right now and I've kind of got a rough idea of who you like. I'm like, oh my God, I just thought of someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to introduce you. That came from you stepping out of your comfort zone, doing a podcast, having a normal general conversation.
Yeah.
And what happened? Oh, I know someone. Do you want to chat to him?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you have to put it out there. You can't just keep yourself closed off, which I did for such a long time.
I thought that's what a lot of people do.
Yeah,
and
they do.
When we stay behind our phones and we're swiping, we're not putting out that energy. If you are going to do that and you want to like try and get to know someone through a dating app, totally fine. Be very vulnerable to begin with. Don't do the conventional, hey, hi, how's it going, etc. Like, see if you can get them to think, oh shit, this person wants something serious. They're different.
Yeah.
They've got something about them. I've never seen that before. And I'm not trying to say you need to shoot for the stars and go completely crazy with the type of questioning you ask, etc. But be you in that space. Don't be who you think they want you to be.
Yeah.
So don't just keep showing up. If they're giving you dead energy, wish them all the best. Thank you. Move on.
Yeah. I had a conversation this week with a client and she's out there dating. She has met someone who is, very much like her. Their values are similar. He asked her where she wanted to eat. He planned the date and he asked if he could plan it, right? Or if she wanted to. So he was really considerate, really kind and really kind of thoughtful about the things that she would want. He also brought her flowers and it was just a really lovely date that she went on.
He's doing too much already. Anyway, Karen.
I wouldn't quite say it was love bombing. It was in a nice way. He was just being thoughtful. She had her opinion as well, right? So she was able to put her opinion across. The other guy said to her, can we meet? No, she said, oh, I'm free on the weekend. He turned around and said, can we meet Friday night? She was working all day. She knew she was going to be tired. She had stuff that she had to do, but she still said yes, right? Then he said, how about 9:30 p.m.? She was like, that's really late, right? Like, so what about dinner? Because I'm going to be working. It'd be nice to go for dinner. And he was like, oh, I'm not free till, I could maybe push it forward to 8:30. Then he said, let's go to an arcade. Okay. So there's two different people here. So she was putting her energy towards this person. I'm like, why are you still entertaining that?
Yeah, to the arcade.
Yeah, I'm like, you're not going to meet your future partner. Well, he's taking her to an arcade, but is that where you want to spend your Friday evenings, in an arcade? No.
It might be reverse that. Do you want to spend your Friday evening doing something fun and different than being at home or going for a dinner and having an interview?
Yeah. So you can't really get to know someone. I guess you can in an arcade if...
Depending on what you're doing, what activities you're doing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But for her, it was, do I really want to go at 9:30 p.m. where I'm already going to be tired?
Maybe it's just...
But this
different
guy hadn't
intentions.
considered it whatsoever. It was just about what he wanted.
So I would have flipped it on her and I would have said to her, why don't you ask him, why does it have to be so late?
Yeah.
And what's your intentions in regards to like what happens if we go to this arcade? Fine, not a problem. But like, tell me, what is it that you're trying to accomplish from this? And like for me to understand you in this capacity.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a case of he's tried every other date and it's backfired. He's done the fancy dinners, the bars. They always backfire on him. And for a change right now, he wants to do something fucking fun. He's been missing bowling for whatever reason. He wants to just go to the arcade.
Yeah.
And he thinks you could be a good fit. And that's the reason why.
Yeah.
You might shut him down before you even get to the arcade. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah,
so I would say come within that.
You get curious, right?
Yeah.
Rather than shutting him down, you get curious.
For a bit of vulnerability and see how he responds. If he's like, to be honest with you, I just wanted to have fun that night and see where it could go. You kind of have a rough idea of where his head's at.
Yeah.
If you don't want that, you obviously don't go. And if you do want that, you do what you got to do.
Yeah. It's getting curious, but then accepting someone for who they are. Because if that's what he likes to do and you don't, then that's not your person.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. It is what it is. Dating is fun. I can keep talking about dating forever because there's always so many different scenarios. But the one recommendation I would put out there is, and I can't say it more, just be fucking vulnerable.
Yeah.
Don't be I think, let me find it. It's one question. I got my client to ask someone. Really, really, really good question.
So I think I deal with a lot of narcissistic abuse clients, right? I'm a narcissistic abuse specialist. Being vulnerable can also work the other way for women who have been in abusive and toxic situations.
Okay.
Because somebody who is manipulative or is narcissistic or has traits, they are going to use your vulnerabilities against you.
But I'm not saying be vulnerable as in just pour your heart out. You got to do it from a place of you know when to step away.
Yeah.
So being vulnerable enough to be like, this isn't for me right now, sorry. But I really appreciate it. Or challenging someone to double down on why. Yeah. So if someone is acting a bit like, if someone's trying to put a front on right now that they want X, Y, and Z, let's say the kids these days, I want Snapchat. I want your Snap. Why? What is it about my Snapchat you want?
Yeah.
Is this what you ask every girl? Not a problem with sharing it. We just want to know like, a bit more about it. But tell me, like, do you feel like I've let you down if I tell you I don't have Snapchat or I don't want to give it to you? Do you feel like I'm wasting your time? And if he's like, yeah or no, and you get a little bit more vulnerability from him now, you get to understand the reason why people are asking certain questions. So
you mean get curious so you can both become vulnerable? Because essentially what happens in that type of dynamic normally is that if the woman's vulnerable, you know, for the man that's abusive, he's going to see that as, okay, these are all her buttons that I can push to control her. So it's getting vulnerable by getting curious about the other person.
Yeah, understanding why they do that, because everyone does something for a reason. And I feel like if we can step into that space to, like, maybe he was heartbroken and has been heartbroken his entire life.
Yeah.
And his traits have come from a domino effect of bollocks.
Yeah.
And so he now feels for him to have power and control of his life, he has to possibly go about it this way. We're not agreeing with it. But we call him out. Yeah. And if we get him somewhat emotionally available and vulnerable, we see a different side.
Yeah. It's feeling safe, isn't it? I think in the beginning, you have to feel safe enough with someone to be able to share what you've been through. But you also need to know that.
I told one of my clients, I was like, the individual she was seeing, standard guy traits, want to take you out, I do everything, I'm the provider, I'm the carer, I'll pay for everything. And I said, let's flip the script. Let's catch him off guard. Yeah. Let's just say next time we meet up, I'm going to pick you up. Yeah. I'm taking you out. I've booked the table and don't you dare pay because this is on me. And I want you to ask him questions in regards to why does he feel he needs to be a provider?
Yeah.
Job done. The vulnerability that came out, take him back. He was like, you're right. He was like, what the fuck? Yo, this is crazy. This is why. And he opened up.
Yeah.
And he explained his story. And like the role he felt that he had to uphold, and this is why he's always gone about it. And previous relationships and people he met, it was a knock-on effect where he had to do this. Not once has anyone ever made him feel, no, you don't, bro.
Yeah.
And it was a change. And I was like, how does that feel for you? She said, it was nice getting to know a guy like that.
Yeah.
Very different. And I said, okay, cool. Let me know how it continues.
So he needed a level of self-awareness, though, to be able to recognise that.
But obviously, if you're conditioned a certain way, you're never going to.
Yeah.
Anyway, we can carry on with this. We're going to have to wrap it up. Misha, this has been sick. I'm going to put in your details to for people to reach out to you if they want to reach out to you and get involved. But you said you only work with women and you're quite selective in regards to some of the guys that you speak to.
Yeah.
Yeah? Perfect. And is it like anyone can reach out or?
Yeah, anyone can reach out. I would deal with all types of trauma.
And is it like relationship related, dating related, or?
I do specialise in unhealthy family dynamics growing up and also relationships. So when I mean relationships, abusive, toxic, emotionally abusive, power imbalances, things like that, in supporting people to heal.
Yeah.
But it's not therapy.
Fair. Cool. Yeah. It's not therapy.
No.
Cool. Fine. Let's just make sure we've got that there.
Yeah. People often call me that, but actually,
that's what I thought you were.
What we do is it's more coaching, but it's trauma-informed coaching.
Fine.
So we deal with the somatic side of things as well, what your body's holding on to from the past.
Okay, and what's one thing on Unfiltered right now that you haven't said that you want to get out? It might not be anything, but...
You can't put me in the spot like that. I can't think of anything. I'm going to throw it back to you.
Well, don't give my podcast.
What's one thing that I haven't said that you think you should ask me?
Okay, we kind of have said it, but what advice are you giving someone right now who's in your footsteps? Who's basically got married early, had their kids, and is in this wobbly place? What advice are you giving someone right now who is in that unknown of trying to fix it because they really want it to work? They never envisioned a divorce. That wasn't part of their plan. What advice are you giving them right now based on the cards that have been dealt where their partner wants nothing more to do with them?
Become the love of your own life. Learn to love yourself first so you can recognise your own worth and see that you deserve more.
Fair. That's a nice little mic drop to finish with. Fair. All right, you had fun?
Yeah.
Cool. Going.
Yeah, you're pretty good at this.
I'm sick at this. I'm sick.
You are.
Thank you lot for listening to another episode of the Unfiltered podcast. If you've liked what you listened today, drop us a like. If you've got any comments in regards to what we spoke about, if there's something you disagreed with or there's stuff that you did agree with, drop us a comment. And lastly, if you haven't subscribed yet, give us a subscribe. Whether you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple, or if you're watching this on YouTube, every subscribe goes a long way. And look, why wouldn't you subscribe? If you like the unfiltered nature of the podcast, surely you want to be in tune to whenever the next episode is coming out, right? Anywho, I'll catch you on the next episode of the Unfiltered podcast. It's been your boy Pri, and I'm signing out. Peace.